In this lesson, you will add isolated foundations with 2 piles and 4 piles to the entry level of the structure. The pile caps are placed on grid locations. They will directly support existing structural columns. Click the menu browser and select Open. Then, from the Training Files Imperial folder, open the file rstmdl-fdn02 Isolated Foundation. Then, open the View 01 Entry-Level Structural Plan and zoom in to the northwest corner of the structure. Let's place isolated foundations. From the Home tab, on the Foundation panel, click Isolated. Then, from the Element panel, click the Change Element Type drop-down and select Pile Cap 2 Pile 31 by 71 by 35. Then, in the drawing area, click the column at grid location A1 to place the first isolated foundation. Then, click the columns at grid locations A1.1 and A2 to place additional pile caps. Using the same method, place more pile caps along grid line A. Now pan over to grid location B1, and to place foundations on vertical grids, press the spacebar to rotate the isolated foundation. When you press the spacebar twice, the isolated foundation is rotated 90 degrees. Click to place it. Place additional pile caps along grid line 1. Then, click Modify, and we will now place pile caps on non-grid locations. Zoom in on the northeast corner of the structure. Click the Isolated Foundation tool and position the pile cap over the concrete wall. Press the spacebar to rotate it, and when the center line of the wall of the stairs highlights, click to place the pile cap. Then, place additional pile caps along the walls of the stairs as shown. Then, do the same for the southeast stairs. Then, using the same method, place additional pile caps along grid lines J and 3 and just below grid line H. Rotate the pile caps as needed. When finished, next we'll place isolated foundations on interior grid locations. Click the Isolated Foundation tool and change the element type to Pile Cap 4 Pile 79 by 79 by 35. Using the same method as before, place isolated foundations at grid intersections along grid line B, grid line I, grid line 1.1, and grid line 2. Next, we'll change the offset distance for all isolated foundations. Draw a selection box around the entire structural plan, and then click Filter. In the Filter dialog, click Check None. Then select Structural Foundations and click OK. Then go to Instance Properties, and for offset, type -1 foot 6 inches and click OK. View the isolated foundations in 3D and close the file without saving it, as the next lesson will provide its own training file. And that concludes this lesson.